we're going to be doing the yeast respiration lab. First, please make sure that you've set up your science notebook, page 46 and 47. It should look like this. You should have your data table set up, a labeled drawing of what you'll be doing in the experiment, your focus question, how does temperature affect yeast respiration, and your prediction about how you think temperature will affect yeast respiration, which basically just means how much, how fast, or slow will carbon dioxide be produced from cellular respiration in the yeast. For our experiment today, we're going to be following the procedure on step 2. And our first instruction is to organize each of the 4 graduated cylinders provided with labeled cards. We don't have labeled cards, but we do have labeled cups. So our 4 labeled cups are 20 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius, and 50 degrees Celsius. We are going to set up 4 graduated cylinders to keep track of which temperature we're testing. And we're on to step 2. Measure 3/4 teaspoon of yeast into each graduated cylinder using the funnel. Okay. This is what the yeast looks like. I have a 1/2 teaspoon and a 1/4 teaspoon together. That makes 3/4. So I'm going to put 3/4 teaspoon into each graduated cylinder. Next, measure 1 teaspoon of sugar into each graduated cylinder using the funnel. This is my sugar. I have 1 teaspoon. One, 2, 3, 4. Mix the yeast and sugar. You should now have 4 yeast and sugar mixtures. So you can see that the yeast and sugar kind of is on top of each other right now. I'm going to take a stir rod and just make sure that those are more mixed up together. Kind of looks like a cinnamon sugar mixture almost now. The next thing I'm going to be doing is making the water the correct temperature for each of the temperatures that we're testing. First, I will get hot water, which I have here, still steaming. It's almost boiling. I'm going to measure out 20 milliliters of water into 4 separate cups. I'm going to use the small graduated cylinder for this. The cups are labeled 20, 30, 40, and 50. So my small graduated cylinder, $20 milliliters. I'm going to be doing that for all 4 cups. Using the provided thermometers, the hot water and the cold water, manipulate each cup to about the right temperature labeled on the cup. As long as it's within about 3 degrees Celsius plus or minus, we're going to call that okay. Make sure your thermometer is on Celsius. This is supposed to be 20 degrees. Okay, that's probably about as close as I can get. It's 22 degrees. It's continuing to go down a bit. So we're gonna call that fine at 20 degrees. All right, for the 30-degree one, I'm gonna have to add some hot water. Just a tiny bit at a time. Let's see if we can get to 30. Okay, 29. We'll call that 30. For 40, you can add a little bit more than I did for 30. I may have added a little too much hot water to that one. It's still going up. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of cool water to cool that down. All right, we're going down again. Okay, we're at 43, so that's within 3 degrees. I'm gonna call that 40. And then finally 50. This is about the temperature of a hot shower. Bit more hot water. More. Okay, now we're there. I'm within 3 degrees of 50, so I think I'm ready to go. Next step. Once all 4 cups of water are about the right temperature, use the funnel to add them to the appropriate graduated cylinders. I am going to immediately start the timer at about the same time. Let's make sure I have my timer ready to go. Start, stop, works, reset, okay. Okay, I'm gonna do this as quickly as I can. Boom, boom, boom. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to start my timer. Start to make immediate observations. We're going to be measuring the foam at all of these times. So at 0 minutes, our foam levels are also 0, we can call it. I'm going to just mix my yeast and water. Now that they're mixed, we're going to continue to make observations. We need to keep an eye on the timer. We're going to measure the foam at 3 minutes. We are coming up on 3 minutes. Let's start measuring. I want you to take a look and decide what you think. So you're measuring just the foam on top. So for this one. Okay. So what do you think? Pause the video if you need to zoom in or anything. What is the measurement of the white foam on top in centimeters? That's for 20 degrees. You should be recording that in your data table. So we're on this row here. So at 3 minutes, what was 20 degrees? Now what was 30, 40, and 50? 30. What is 40 degrees? How many centimeters is the white foam on top? And 50. How many centimeters is the white foam on top? Our next measurement will be at 6 minutes. Time for another measurement at 6 minutes. Here is 20 degrees Celsius. This is 20 degrees Celsius. How much foam is on top? Pause the video if you need to look at it more carefully. 30 degrees Celsius. Pause the video if you need time to look at the measurement. How much is the white foam on top? 40 degrees Celsius. How much is the white foam on top? And 50. How much is the foam? Our next measurement is at 9 minutes, and again, you should be recording this in your data table. So far we've recorded 3 minutes. We've done 0, 3, 6. Our next one will be 9. And we're at 9 minutes. So 20, what are we at? Okay. 30. This is for 9 minutes, 30 degrees Celsius. 40, 30 degrees Celsius. And this is 50. And our last measurement will be at 12 minutes. Uh-oh, and 50 just overflowed. So that data is not going to be too great for us. We might have to stop that at 9 minutes. And we are at 12 minutes now. This is our last measurement. Final measurement for 20 degrees Celsius. Final measurement for 30 degrees Celsius. Final measurement for 40 degrees Celsius. And a little bit tricky for 50 degrees Celsius since it has continued to overflow. So it's at least 15 centimeters, but it would have probably continued to get higher. So that piece of data is probably a source of error for us, but we can make sure that we have the rest of our data written into our data table.